Welcome to the Warrior's Way Home podcast.
So you think I'm a fake crash out? I'm gonna show you a fake crash out. Guys, have you ever seen live and in probably HD, probably 4K, a man totally crash out and completely burn his life and possibly his career away? Yes, we did. When you watch, if you've been watching Raja Jackson's Rampage Jackson's Baby Boy, his live IRL stream, you definitely recently did get to see a man completely crash out and burn his life and career down. Not only that, but put a man, a veteran, by the way, into the hospital with probably brain damage, I'm sure, broken bones in his face, missing teeth, and only recently, I believe, woke up. So today we are talking about the Raja Jackson crash out incident, him rampaging at a wrestling match and beating the hell out of a professional wrestler after he was knocked unconscious, delivering over 20 blows to his head after knocking him out with a slam.
Yeah,
bro. It's hard to even explain, like watch it. Like I've had to sit there and watch before we even started this. I reviewed it and watched back the video, and it's ridiculous, just to be blunt with it. But before we get started with that, man, I want to welcome everybody to the live stream. Hope you guys are all doing well, better than good, better than great, keeping your emotions intact and keeping your emotions under your control so you're not crashing out like some people are in this world. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and tap in with us for this, because this is going to be an interesting conversation, man. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good. It was hard to watch. It was definitely unexpected, but I wasn't surprised by it because I have seen the interactions between, Raja and his dad before, and I didn't know he was a streamer until this incident. But, that's why emotional regulation is so important. That self-control is key, especially for a man.
Facts.
Because, there's guys that not even at this level of the situation, he had a beer can smashed on his head right after he had a concussion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's important to know as well. So he, wasn't in his right mind. But at the same time, there are guys who are crashing out over far less. You know what I mean? Some guy steps on his shoe, he gets disrespected at the bar, by a woman he's trying to pursue, whatever, and they do the exact same thing. So it's not just about Raja, it's about all of us who have, that animal inside of us that we need to keep on a real tight leash at certain points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I heard the concussion argument and the beer can. So I've been watching this footage of what happened, him getting hit with the beer can and everything. Between him getting hit with the beer can, though, and him actually hopping in the ring is over an hour of time. Of him sitting down, laughing, talking, being on stream, deciding what he was going to do, making sure that they were going to tap him to go into the ring, because it was planned for him to go into the ring with this guy, and get his vengeance. That was not planned what he ended up doing, but he was talking about all the things he was going to do, laughing and joking and all this other bullshit. So for me, the argument about the concussion, plus I saw the kick he got in the gym, supposedly the kick wasn't hard enough to knock this dude out. I'm just gonna be real about it. If you've been in martial arts before, most of us gotten kicked as hard or harder than that at times, and not put somebody in the hospital a couple of days after that. Yes, head trauma and everything like that can cause these things, but that dude just had something to fucking prove. That's where I'm at with it. And it was very obvious because he was plotting. This was premeditated what he was going to do. It'd be one thing if he crashed out right then after getting hit in the head with the beer can, but that's not the case. So if it was that case, I'd been like, he probably wasn't in his emotions were probably running high. That concussion may have had something to do with it. But you wait over an hour to then turn around and get all upset and crash out. Come on, bro.
So I got to fight back a little bit, because I don't think it was just then. I don't know the how hard he got kicked is up for debate. All he said is that he had a concussion after that. He definitely seemed a little bit not as coherent when he was streaming, because I watched that video that you sent me. He was talking to his stream beforehand, and he just didn't see him all the way there. It could have been other stuff, you know, it could have been a whole lot of stuff. But I think
I got a video that's probably gonna change your mind about that. But
but I know we'll be able to play back some stuff today. But for me, watching what happened happens a lot around men, I think, where something happens, you're embarrassed, you're disrespected, whatever, and then you have all this time where you could have been letting it go, or if you really he should have left because he was there to support his friend. He thought, I'm going to keep my stream going and all that kind of stuff. If he was that upset about it, somebody should have told him to leave. They thought he was going to be okay and stay, so the other wrestlers were like, oh well, since this happened to you, why don't you come into the ring, get your get back, and then, you know, jump out or whatever. But they didn't really go over with him what that should have meant. He hit one time with a beer can. That does not equal a full slam with your head bouncing off the mat and then 20, consecutive punches after that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. He went past the line. It's maybe like a kick or something like that. Or
let me ask you this. Ask you this. If the concussion thing, why are we only hearing about the concussion after he got in trouble?
Mm-hmm.
Why did nobody during the stream? Because I'm sitting there watching the entire stream that he had. I went back and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
At no point during this entire stream did he mention that he had concussion, or did his cameraman, who's always filming him, mention that he had as a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody mentioned that shit at all until after the guy went to the hospital and all the backlash started coming about him, about what he did. That's the only time they mentioned him possibly having a concussion.
Yeah.
For me, that's kind of
suspect.
That's an excuse
in
my mind, because like you said, there's a lot of guys who build up, and then pop. But this dude popped, got calm, relaxed, chilled out, was reading his stream, got him a little hype, was going like this, and then at the end, and like I said, was plotting what he was going to do in the ring. Talking about, oh yeah, should I slam him first or should I punch? Matter of fact, we're just gonna hop into the video. Because us talking about it and everything like that, let's let him give the evidence to the people, and they can decide, kind of what was really going on, what was up with the whole situation.
Yeah, it kind of sucks how this all shook out too. You know what I'm saying? Because he's an up and coming star. He's already a professional fighter.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And he was
man, that kind of shit happens though, man. It's like guys who are trying to, I think a lot of times, live in their parents' shoes have something to prove way more than other people who are trying to build it and get out the mud on their own.
I'm sure it's hard being the kid of a famous person for them personally. I know nobody really has sympathy for them, on this level, but you can play it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that. He's my favorite wrestler because of that. He beat the fuck out of him. Yeah. Where's the real McKill at? Where's he at?
You don't need to worry about him. You need to be worried about Syko Stu.
Syko Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a
And there's the beer can.
Easy.
And see, that's the real reaction.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, just enough self-control where he was like, hold on, bro. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck was that? Hold on.
There you look. See, he was ready to go. Now that he's ready to go right there.
We're good.
I will fuck him up, bro. I don't play that shit.
Now listen to what they're saying.
Nah, I will fuck him up, bro.
I know you will. So I got you.
I do not play that shit at all.
Nah, I got you. Good. Apologize for that. Man. Fix that. You hear me?
Yeah.
Good, dude. I'm on that BS. I think that we're working over here like it's part of the fucking storyline.
And why would you be doing that back there if that was part of the storyline? His excuse was like the guy's always working.
Yeah.
But why, if you were working, why are you working back here with all the cars, everybody's chilling, all that kind of stuff? Yeah, no, for sure. But I know they do behind the scenes stuff for pro wrestling.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not giving oh boy a full on pat
Syko Stu
on what he did, because obviously Syko Stu looks like he's been he's been knocking back a few.
Yeah.
You could kind of tell by the way he was moving and the way he was talking. Homeboy was in drinking. like I said, once again, not an excuse to, knock somebody over the head. See the camera, things are going. Maybe you think the dude is working. Okay, I can get that. But, that's how you guys move.
That's the first time you see that guy, though? Like, you think he's working automatically?
That might be questionable right there for me. So, did he cross the line? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if it had gone down right there, would I have had anything to say about this? No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, my thing is, though, let's keep watching and kind of get a little more context in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Rampage. That's how we
No, bro.
Go ahead, Stu. This is out there. Because he always thinks.
So he know he's fucked. He fucked up.
So he's already hot.
He tried to apologize. Get mad.
Stu.
No. Like seriously.
No. That's for me.
I know it's for you, but we're trying to solve something right now. We don't want no heat.
So they wanted them to turn the cameras off.
I'm cool now, but you know what I'm saying?
Doesn't want to turn the stream off. So obviously it's not that fucking serious if you're not wanting to turn the stream off.
We just don't want no problem. If we are apologizing, we're sorry.
I appreciate that.
That's some real shit. Let me draw mine on real quick. I get the sweat, but that's some real shit. He is very simple. So I understand where you're coming from. I'm a little hot right now, so let's go ahead.
You know what's
chill.
a good thing about this? Now I can make it something. Because I'm going to have you run in and fuck that motherfucker up in the mat. You ready for that?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Talk to the president.
Yeah. If you can,
Low key, high key, that's
cool.
instigated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If it was squashed there,
opportunist.
Yeah.
Well,
but hold on.
talk.
I know they're trying to do a stream thing.
Yeah.
Or he's trying to do a stream thing. They're putting on a show.
Yeah.
There was going to be cameras involved with the whole scenario anyway. They were like, hey, let's just do this, surprise feature of Raja Jackson, pro MMA, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But
like other streamers have done.
Yeah. But to use that as like the trigger for that, and then kind of it's being opportunist. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I feel like that they shouldn't have did that right then, because he was like, all right, cool, I'll go in there. I mean, I'll put on a little show, but they was gonna let him hit him for real, and they never really explained how pro wrestling works. I mean, he probably knows because of his friend. He's there for his friend to support his debut or whatever. But they should have, instead of just being like, hey, get your receipt and all that stuff, they should have just been like, hey, why don't you tell us what you would like to do, and we'll see if it works, and then will we be able to play it off after the fact? Yeah.
Well, at the same time, I seriously doubt they thought he was going to go in there and just stomp this fucking shit out too. Yeah. I seriously doubt that was the plan. That they were like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's take this guy that works for us and let's have him get completely fucked up by this streamer. It's like I seriously doubt that was the plan. But if you, like I said, when we're looking at a lot of this, it's one of those things where like I said, it's an opportunist and different things like that. But if you notice, he didn't want to stop the stream. Didn't want to stop the stream, anything like that. The minute he was like, hey man, we're trying to solve something, things are getting hot, he's like, no, I'm cool. It's like, oh, so now you're cool. You were hot a minute ago, but now the minute they want to stop the stream, you're like, no. So the content is more important than your pride.
Right.
So your pride wasn't hurt enough to stop the stream. You didn't forget that they were filming. Yeah. It wasn't one of those moments where like, I completely forgot the camera was on. I just started fucking the dude up on the car. Like I slammed him on the car and started just going.
That'd have been different.
I completely forgot you were filming. Nah, it wasn't any of that. You decided to keep on filming what was going on. It's like, that's where I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like a lot of these excuses, like I said, there's a lot of wrong in this and a lot of people had their hands in it. I just think the scenario didn't play out well. And I think a lot of it has to do with, self-accountability. There's accountability where Stu definitely shouldn't have hit that dude in the head with the fucking beer can. And you see him trying to apologize, not, when he realizes like, oh, I probably fucked up just now. You see them trying to calm the situation down. But like I said, the fact that you want to keep streaming, you're trying to use this for your benefit. Is like this went from a real scenario to, for me, some reality TV shit. To be honest with you. For sure. All right, so we're gonna fast forward a little bit because we're definitely not gonna watch this whole thing. So, and the thing is, man, the instigation didn't stop just at that moment. A lot of the, some other some other wrestlers got involved and actually started to kind of really instigate the situation as well.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, we're gonna hope you guys are enjoying this, man. Like I said, we're work with us here. You know, we don't usually use video outside of what we're doing. Usually it's just a conversation with us. So, you know, this video was way too long for me to download. So we're just running straight off of the off of YouTube.
I tagged SPODIFY. I was in the swing.
No.
What he thought was he was a pro.
I just said.
Yeah. Another thing is, even when we are working like that, you don't fucking, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
So you don't. He's a fucking idiot. Hey. So when you run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt. Go tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there.
They should have said one. So.
Tag his shit.
See, so they're hyping him up. You know, telling him like, yeah, you know, give him his receipts and everything like that. Which, like I said, you know, payback. You know, getting your payback. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you're taking this guy that is unhinged, you know, and is basically just being like, go get him, you know, like just letting the dog off the leash type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the best idea in the world, you know. It doesn't seem like that's gonna. It almost seems like you're setting up to happen.
Hey, as long as I get my lick back, I'm straight. I'm straight.
Where's Bear at?
Where's Rikishi?
And see, this is what I mean about the concussion thing. From somebody who's had a concussion recently, still, you know, still has some stuff going on, and I've had a lot in the past, to be real about it. Probably more than most, which is not a thing of pride to say. It's probably a thing that you should be concerned about. But what I'm saying is this is like the way the dude is acting.
Yeah.
If he had a concussion and he was like not in control of himself, it would have popped off in that parking lot.
Yeah. If it was worse than if it was if it was worsened, that's what I was looking for, by what he did with the beer can, then we'd be having a different, like, he probably wouldn't be able to retaliate if it was like that. But, you know, I luckily have never had a concussion, but I've been almost knocked out before. So I definitely get the days of an added pressure when you're already having some type of damage. But he was very cognizant at that time. You know,
I think his pride got more hurt than his head.
Yeah, but it was hyped. It kept escalating, not only because of his stream. He never stopped it the entire time. As you can see, it's like an hour and 45 minutes. Even up to like the ultra, like what happens after the actual thing. But at what point do you say like, hey, maybe we should cut off the cameras? You know what I mean? That's the part where I'm kind of wondering, why is this stream this long and kind of still available? Because that kind of becomes evidence to a crime. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's going to be analyzed by every lawyer right now. I mean, we're not the only ones making content about this. The people who are lawyers on YouTube and all that type of stuff who talk about these type of situations are definitely looking at this right now.
Oh yeah, facts.
His coach didn't try to. The coach was like, "Yeah, you deserve to get your lick back," but at the same time, like, hey, remember, you got deals that could be riding on this, and you know, a livelihood and whatnot. So don't go in there and be crazy.
Don't do nothing stupid.
Don't do nothing stupid. And you know, like you said, a lot of people
having the wrong people in your ear, man.
It
goes to also having the wrong people in your damn ear.
Yeah.
Nigga got knocked out. I didn't even get knocked out. Why didn't you fuck that
guy? Like, his coach should have been right there telling him, like, bro, don't be looking at your comments.
Hold on.
This nigga got knocked out. I didn't even get knocked out. Why didn't you fuck that guy up? Cause nigga, if I would have done something, then they would have kicked me out of this shit. Then there would be no more stream today.
See?
Yeah.
So you're more worried about the stream than getting your look back. You know, it's like I said, it's one of those things. And like I said, you're still reading, the comment section, letting that stuff go, letting them talk shit, and obviously you're feeling a certain kind of way about it. You know,
Yeah.
you're talking about, and you are aware that if you had did something in that parking lot, the repercussions that would happen. So you can't tell me that you weren't in your right mind. He obviously, no one had to tell him like, hey, bro, don't do this. They're going to call the cops. He knew what was going to happen if he popped off in that parking lot.
Mhm.
He chose not to. That was a
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
That was a choice. You
It's
know?
kind of crazy how you can know exactly what the right thing to do is, and then an hour
And
later,
decide to
but
do the other
even
thing.
and still decide to do the other thing, man. It doesn't even
Decide to
matter how
throw
much
it all
time has
away.
gone past. Yeah, because you could be like in your right mind for a good solid minute, and that's why we always say think ahead. You know what I mean? Like make sure that you're thinking ahead as far as you can. 1 or 2 steps. He was obviously doing that, but he just didn't think far ahead enough because he kept his stream on. Nobody was really trying to calm him down. They egged him on to go in there and do what he did. Not do what he did, but they go in there and do something.
Mm-hmm.
But too like you said, too much time had passed for you to still know that you should be trying to chill in this moment. You should keep it that way. Get your lick back, but like be able to go home. Make sure everybody can go home at the end of the night. But then again, these people are trained for 2 very different sports. Now the Syko Stu is a veteran, so he's seen combat. He has PTSD. He talked about wrestling is his escape from his reality.
Yeah.
But he goes too far, and even his coworkers or whatever were saying, his fellow wrestlers, like he goes too far into his storyline or whatever he thinks that we're working because he's already trying to run from his own shit.
Yeah.
But then you got this guy who was just trained for combat off of Jump, whose father is a well-known, former UFC champion, and then whatever else he does. So he's gonna be equipped for war. But then you bring him into this fantasy or this game or act that we put on for a specific reason. Now people still get hurt, people still get fucked up. They get dumped off of ladders and cage matches and all this type of stuff, but they choose to be in there.
Oh yeah.
They choose to play this game. Whereas, he fights for a livelihood, so he doesn't have to have that same level of control.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man. Yes, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. You pulling up another section? Yeah. Okay.
Pro wrestling show, GF, and the motherfucker hit me with a can, thought I was a pro wrestler and shit because I have a camera and stuff, and he's a little like fucked up, a little drunk or something, and shit pissed me off, and I'm gonna have to get him back. They said I can go in the ring and get his ass. I don't even know what I'm gonna do to him. You thought I was at a gay strip club. What the fuck?
Yeah, super bright people obviously in the comment section. But even he knows the fact that the guy was kind of fucked up, and the fact that he thought obviously he was a wrestler as well because of the camera, and he knows like I said, they already said he was going to let him in the ring. He's obviously excited about it because if it was such a big deal, he wouldn't be sticking around. He's the only reason he's waiting there is not to support his people anymore. He's waiting to
not anymore. Yeah.
He's waiting to get in that ring because one, it's going to be more views, it's going to be more eyeballs. The drama hypes everybody up. They smell blood in the water, and they're waiting for him to hop in the ring, and he's waiting for his opportunity for that 5 minutes of fame to be hopefully as popular as his daddy. I'm just at this point, I'm going to say that shit. I'm going to say that shit. He's trying to be as popular as his daddy, and yes, I'm going to say that, and that might sound harsh.
That is harsh.
But from watching the way this guy is moving and the things he's doing, I can't come to any other conclusion than he's got something. He has something to prove.
I would say he was already famous. This was gonna boot. It's the virality. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants that thing that drives it back to whatever his business is. If it's more than fighting, but there is definitely some living in his father's
fighting. He's not. The difference is he's not famous for fighting. His dad is famous as a fighter.
How many fights has he had? Do you know?
Has he been in?
As Raja?
I'm not sure.
Let me look it up.
while you're looking that up, I'm gonna move to the next clip. But
yeah.
I mean, his dad is famous as a fighter. He is famous for his fighting. Raja is not famous for his fighting. There's a difference. You know, it's like, you know, it's like being a Kardashian. It's like, what are you famous for? Nothing. Having a fake ass. and you know, and plastic surgery is like, it was like, do I have any talent? No. But can I make money off of not having any talent? Yes.
I'm still looking it up.
You know,
so
now at a certain point, the chat, you know, starts really to kind of go in on him, and you know,
so
like
he's
I said,
0-1
Roger,
right now.
he's 0-1, yeah,
0-1. So he's only had one fight so far.
Yeah,
maybe he'll get another chance, but this is looking a little rough right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so the chat starts going in on him. At a certain point, like I said, they you know, like I said, they obviously smell blood in the water, and they're here for it. You know, they're trying to definitely hype him up as they go. Let's get into this.
Because they don't care about his money. They don't care about, you know, what he's got going on, his livelihood to protect.
No, absolutely not.
They want to be a part of the views.
Are you not entertained?
Right.
Are you not entertained?
I don't know if he is fighting a dude.
He of course got banned from this this thing.
About to see how fake of a crash out. All right, bet.
Hold on.
I'm gonna fake crash out. All right, bet. Bet. You about to see you about to see how fake of a crash out I am. Now I get a chance to get in the ring and do this and do some shit to him. I haven't been playing Fortnite.
So that's just my, you know, you're like I said, you're somebody's calling you a fake crash out, and you want to get all high, be like, oh, I'm gonna show you how much of a fake crash out I am. I'm gonna show you how hard I can crash.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of sense does that make, man?
Yeah,
that makes no sense. That's that kid in, you know, in high school or in elementary that's like behind you, be like, oh man, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing to him. So I'll show you. You are a fucking adult, bro. Yeah. Or at least, you know, or at least you're you have an adult body.
Not going in on this man.
I don't like this type of stuff, man. I don't like it. It's like I'm not a fan. I have nothing personal against this guy, but my thing is like this is like to hype this kind of stuff up. And yes, are we putting it on blast right now? Yes, but we are using it for a specific reason. We're using it as an example, almost
it's
like
a case study.
A case study, a teaching moment, a warning to guys of just what this thing can do. Because this could easily be us. You know, we could have gone down this route. You know, it's like if we had been born, you know, later on or something like that, we could definitely be like so caught up in the stream and doing all these different things like that it starts to affect our personalities, our minds, you know, how we see ourselves, you know, and all these, our self-esteem, you know. Obviously, I'm sorry, man, something is up with this dude's self-esteem. It's like, and it's, you know, we're gonna talk more about his relationship with his dad, and that probably has a lot to do with it. Like not only living in the shadow, but almost like that kind of bully type relationship that he shared, that shows with his dad on the stream. I don't know if that's how they really are, but you see it so much that it makes you wonder, like, okay, is this how?
I kind of think it is. I think that's how they roll. At least I think that's how
it comes
Rampage rolls.
It comes natural to him.
Yeah.
You see. Yeah, man. Very
immature mind. Thanks for that Storm Logic.
Appreciate
it. You, brother. I watched a little something before we hopped on where it was his dad talking about what happened, and then as you saw Rampage talking to his son during the stream, you know, because there's a cut where it's like him in his car with his thing and his camera and all that, and then his son streaming all that, where his dad was talking shit too. You know what I'm saying? He was like, we saw you hugging a man in tights. What's going on there? Like, you had a gay strip club. You need me to send my goons after you, like send my goons there. But when he hopped off the stream, he was like, look what y'all did. Y'all made my son mad at me. Who told you to say that? Who told you to
Who told you to be that way? You play everybody else, but you said, look what you made me do. Like, look what you made me do.
Like he would have blamed
you made me completely emasculate my son. How dare you?
Exactly.
How dare you make me emasculate my
He's
boy?
the type of dude who destroys a door and blames the door. It was in my way. Like, what are you?
That door gave me a splinter.
Right. But I was just like, yo, that's crazy.
Rampage, please don't show up at our houses, man. Actually, you know, that might be fun. Only if we can stream it, Rampage. Only if we can stream it. Only if we can stream it.
But it's just too much, bro. It's
yeah.
He should have been trying to see what actually happened, because he didn't even know why he was there and all that stuff until after somebody called him and told him what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he said, yeah, why are you there? But like, what happened to make you? Why is everybody doing what they're doing? Yeah. What type of charges do you guys think he'll be looking at? Bruh, attempted murder, premeditated, probably something. We talk about this every time we do one of these case studies. We automatically, my brain starts thinking about all the charges, like
here's the wrench. Murder. Here's the wrench. I think he's in LA.
What does that mean?
LA has it's a whole different world out there in California, mostly LA. A lot of times the stuff you should get charged with that, you know, makes sense everywhere else. A lot of times, because you're in LA and because you're semi-famous and have a famous dad and everything like that, I don't know. I think there's a chance that he will get less.
He'll get less for sure.
Now he should get attempted murder, because it's the fact that he knocked the guy out and then punched him in the face and in the head over 20 times after he knocked the guy out. He should get that. Is attempted. That's not assault. Assault was you picking him up and slamming him and knocking him out. Assault ended there.
That should have been
the minute you got down on top of this man and started beating his head with your fists over and over and over again. And even while people were trying to pull you off, kept trying to get at him, that should be attempted murder.
So let me ask you this though. Here's a thing. Because Syko Stu is a veteran, do you think how much of a part is that going to play in this case?
I think the backlash that he could get offline would force the hands of people who would be charging him.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only way he would see major jail time, is because the backlash that he would get, because this has gone so viral.
If he walks, then that's a lot more backlash. If it's a reduced sentence, they might let some of that go, I think. But if he just walks, then people riot. Somebody's gonna be upset.
If he, I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I don't wish bad things to happen to people. People are like, obviously Charles about to say some wild shit. But because of what happened and the way he did it and who he did it to, if he walks, he's going to need security. There are going to be people after him if he walks. It's like you probably will not see him streaming live out in public by himself.
I don't think I'd see him streaming after this.
Oh no, he's gonna keep streaming, because I think he even did a podcast after this.
This kind of reminds me of weird random comment. It reminds me of who was it? Was it one of the Logans or one of the Pauls that went to the Japanese forest, the suicide forest, and was like filming bodies and all that kind of stuff? Wasn't that one of them?
I have no idea about that one. Yeah,
you don't know about that? Oh shit. No. Okay. So there was a streamer. I'm pretty sure it was one of the Pauls. But and if you guys know in the chat, those who are watching, if you know what I'm talking about, put what the situation was. But he went to Japan, went to the suicide forest, which is a place where people commit suicide and all that. But like they leave the bodies in there for whatever reason, or they just go missing, and it's like presumed that they end up in this forest. And I guess there were bodies that were actually like visible and hanging in this forest, and he was streaming him walking through there, showing these bodies. Maybe he got real famous off of it. Now, no jail time and none of that kind of stuff. But when that happened,
so they said it looked Pauls.
Okay, one of the Pauls. Okay, that's what I thought. So I'm not sure what happened after that, but then I just remember him doing some type of pivot where he changed his image and started doing a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of other stuff. But it was one of those catapulting moments where he had become more famous from it. But he had just done so much after that, where I think it was a bit more on the back burner. But yeah, I could see maybe he pivots and kind of goes all in on MMA or something. But it's gonna be hard, bro. People are gonna be on his ass for a minute after this.
Man, just the veteran. I can tell you this right now. Growing up around a lot of vets and military and everything like that, they ride for their own.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there are a lot of military veterans in MMA.
Yeah.
And
Shit!
who would love to get their hands on him if he actually doesn't get if he doesn't get punishment in a high enough standard. There's going to be a lot of people that can't wait to get their hands on him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
That'll make it butt pucker.
Like I said, and it's not me, wishing it upon him. It's just facts, bro.
It's facts.
He hits me back for real. I don't give a fuck. I want him to.
And it's not even like WWE level shit.
Bigger guy. W if you think I can pick him up. L if you think I can't.
So he's already talking about what he's going to do.
Chat W.
Hyping it up.
Well, and that's premeditated, bro. It's like that's the thing. Is like the stupid part is you're setting yourself up.
Yeah.
You have the evidence. You're filming yourself.
You're streaming the evidence.
You're filming yourself do the crime, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, just let's wrap our minds around this real quick. You are filming yourself doing the crime.
Yeah.
You are filming yourself doing the thing to be played at your court hearing.
Yeah, but that is not actually new for this generation because it's not
stupid.
Oh no, for sure. No, for sure. But there are you know what drill music is?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for those
rappers getting caught up doing the stupid stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, drill music is basically when you make a song about you doing a crime or killing somebody and you leave all the details sprinkled in the song. And I know, in old rap music, it was something similar, but they never really said names. They'd be dropping whole addresses and shit in their raps. Yeah. And I just be like, bro, and they started using them. Yeah. They started playing the music as a part of evidence for rappers in their trials. And that's why a lot of them were either getting killed or going to jail and all this other type of stuff. But people in general, you can just go to your Facebook feed or your Instagram and see people committing crimes and immediately posting it. And I'm like, how much time did this? It's either live streams, you see people beefing online, they got jewelry on or whatever. Somebody rolls up on them at their house or in their car, starts shooting them. People die on live. This is just what it is now. And it shouldn't be. It's super sad. And please, if you are listening to this, if you are dumb enough to commit a crime, don't be dumb enough to film it. You know what I mean? I get back and all that kind of stuff, but it's think 5 moves ahead. Okay, I do this, then what? I pick up my phone, I go to this person's house, they film me breaking and entering or what do you call it? Trespassing or whatever, premeditated assault, attempted murder. The list goes on. Mm-hmm. But if somebody does something against you, you got to handle it in the right manner, man. I can't even tell you what that is to do without knowing your situation. But if it's something like this, you get disrespected in public or, embarrassed or something, you're better off leaving because you're going to let the people around you hype you up to the point where you're going to do something stupid. And guess what? If you're not the one filming it, somebody around you is, because they want you to do something stupid so that they can go show somebody else, so they can post it online and drag your name through the mud and they don't even know what the fuck you are.
It's wild, man. It is wild. Just the things people are willing to do for fame now, man. It blows my mind now.
Yeah.
We're about to head up into the part everybody's been seeing lately.
Yeah.
Dude, as soon as they tell me to go, I'm gone. Watch.
He slid in there smooth too.
Like he's waiting.
The dude.
He wasn't even looking at him. He was just like looking at the chat.
I'm not picking up the dude.
See, look. They're hyping him up. Dumbwit's not gonna do. He can't do nothing. Da 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 da.
What?
You know.
Do. Watch what I'm about to do.
See, bro, you're craving attention at that point. I'm sorry.
See that right now. I'm bro. It's not gonna be scripted. I'm telling you that right now. I promise you.
Evidence, man.
And just leave. Somebody who pull me off of him will leave. I will tell you guys this. They told me to hit him and just leave. Somebody who pull me off of him will leave. I'm telling you. I'm gonna hit him as many times as I can. Watch.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
He said he's going to hit him as many times as he can. They told him to hit him and leave. He said he's going to hit him as many times as he can. Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Watch. They should have had me in there already. I'm not gonna fake it. Exactly. They don't want me. They don't want me in there for real because I'm not gonna fake it. Watch.
Get as much of the show out of him as he can.
You're setting yourself up, dude. Listen.
As soon as I do what I'm doing, I'm leaving.
Listen to the stuff he's saying. You're an idiot, bro. I'm sorry. That's the dumbest shit. Okay.
Yeah, you can't really show that part.
Yeah. We're going to skip some of this because we don't want to get this. Well, we're not monetized at all right now, so it's almost like fuck it, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So
okay, before you do, look how far off the ground he was. His head was basically in dude's back pocket, and then he slammed him. Yeah. So that's one whiplash. That's, you know, bouncing your head off of that mat. That mat is soft, but it ain't that damn soft. You know, trust me. I've been in one of those rings, bro. It's not that damn soft. And you know, he's got, his hands are to the point where like there's no protection, there's no break fall. It's straight back of the head to mat. Wow. Yeah, no charges, no arrest yet. That's true.
Crazy. I didn't realize he didn't get arrested at all.
No, he's still out. He's still free.
Yeah, I thought he at least got picked up.
He got banned from that promotion, but like, so what?
Yeah, I heard that.
The crazy thing is, Stu didn't even mean to be disrespectful. He thought he was an actor. Yeah, he apologized too.
Well, he saw the camera and thought that, you know, it's like, oh, it's time for me to put on a show.
Yeah, but at the same time, man,
you know,
even
like,
that's not an excuse.
It wasn't a great move, you know. Like,
yeah,
no, we're not giving him a pass on what he did.
Yeah,
it's like, but the fact that he tried to apologize to him afterwards. And I'm gonna go back to it. There was one point where they're both outside. He's sitting right in front of Stu. Stu's sitting down in a chair, and Raja's standing right in front of him, and he's just talking to people around him. Why would you do that to somebody that you want to whoop their ass? I've never stayed around somebody that I wanted to beat their head against a brick wall. I cannot stand around you, because if I do, I'm going to do something. So I need to leave. I need to leave. I need to get as far away from you as possible before I end up on the news. Let me go. If it gets to that point where I really want to put hands on somebody, I can't stand around you at that point. Unless we completely squash it. And even then, I'm probably not going to be near you.
Yeah, not trying to be buddy and all that.
Yeah, it's like, so that stuff, you know, is ridiculous to me. You know, it's like, so we're gonna fast forward through some of this, but before I think we can show this part. I'm gonna probably avoid some of the punches, but I do want to see. Now look at this. Yeah, so he's down, right? Climbs on top. One. Okay, his hands go up. Boom, hands up. Boom, hands down. Hands down.
Oh my God.
Look at this. Hands down, head to the side. Homeboy is out, man. That dude is out. You cannot tell me that dude is still
conscious of playing a game.
He's not.
Yeah.
It's the new reality TV. We don't need MTV anymore. Porfirio, you ain't never lied, bro. You ain't never lied. All you need is Instagram now, or YouTube or TikTok or sometimes Snapchat.
That too, man. It's a shame because first of all, these people are they see once his head hit the ground, the ref tries to like call it off and all that type of stuff, but they just kept going and I would say a full 20 seconds. That's a long time. They don't let you get that many hits off in the UFC. So why is nobody trying to pull him off of him until it's shit?
They did after
But 20 punches, bro, a head slam like that, and 20 possibly knockout style blows right after that.
And look at the way he's punching too, bro. Oh, man, he's
coming from the 12th floor.
He's going at him.
He's
going at him.
Yeah.
See, look, like that dude is out, man. That dude is out. He is. Yeah. This is. I think my biggest thing with this is I don't like bullies, and a lot of times people who have gotten bullied, because I've gotten bullied, one or two things happen. Either you become a extreme defender of people getting bullied, or you become the bully. And I think this was his opportunity to, one, like I said, prove himself, and two, maybe become the bully he always wanted. He's been fighting against all his life.
Get that anger out,
hurt people, as they say, man. It's so true. Hurt people fucking hurt people, bro.
Yeah,
it is what happens. It is, and people who think that like I said, violence does not happen. This dude didn't plan on having this happen. When he came to work that night.
Yeah,
and it's not like he wasn't a physical guy. Pro wrestling is a physical business. You have to be as that dude had a beer belly and everything like that, but you still got to be physically capable.
Jumping off ropes and slamming into people.
Yeah.
Fake punches or not, you still taking hits, bro.
And how much do you think Stu outweighed Raja?
He had about at least 50 pounds.
And the way he picked him up, and here's the funny thing, is what move is his dad known for in MMA?
Yeah, I actually don't know. I don't know the specific.
You don't know what move, what finishing move in his match when he was back in Japan made Rampage Jackson famous.
I'd have to see it again.
It was a power bomb. Rampage Jackson has become before the whole door thing, him destroying the door. Rampage Jackson was known for power bombing when he was fighting back in Japan. When he was fighting, I think for Pride. I think he was fighting for.
I used to love Pride.
When he was fighting for Pride, he did a power bomb on a guy who was trying to do a triangle, who was trying to do I think it was a triangle.
Oh yeah. Oh
and
shit.
He power bombed that guy and knocked him out in the ring. That was what he was known for. He became extremely famous after that. What move did Raja just do?
Yeah. It's a big old slam right there.
So you're telling me that that he's not trying to be his dad?
Yeah, that's true.
That there's not some piece of him that wants to be
that is a shame.
At least as known or not bigger known than him, that doesn't have something to prove.
Is that
I'm not just Rampage's son?
Yeah,
I'm not little Rampage.
What do you call that? It's not. Is it irony? That's irony, right? His dad got famous for that. His son does this, the anger problems, the shit talking, and all that stuff. But it's not poetic justice. But when you see something like that happen, I'm talking about Rampage's his fights in Pride and the things that he did there and how he is as a person, and then you see what happens with his son. That's kind of what I'm afraid of with my kid. You know what I mean? The worst parts of you transferring over to them, whether it's through nature or nurture. And if you don't catch it in time, then shit like this happens. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm afraid of as a dad. And I don't know if everybody is that self-aware, but those times where I've lost control and those times where I've made dumbass decisions, I just never want to see my son in that kind of predicament.
For sure.
Hey, you gotta stop this shit, man.
Like I said, his cameraman knows what's up. He knows it's not fake.
Yeah. Yes, apparently that dude in the blue there was trying to follow him outside after the event.
And you know what really made me sick? And I don't know if they show it, but there was another wrestler that came in and slid and pinned Stu. Syko Stu.
I didn't see that. Really?
And they don't show it on this one. I was watching another video where while they're dealing with Raja, a wrestler came in and pinned Stu, and the ref went ahead and counted and everything like that. I'm like, how are you just going to keep
the show going?
Certain things where it's like you just stop.
Yeah.
This is like that. That was ridiculous for me.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think they did the right thing, and even the cameraman for Raja did the right thing and started to tell him, "Hey, stop this." He should have stopped the stream then, as a cameraman.
Never stop streaming.
Right.
Never stop the camera. The camera continues. If it bleeds, it leads. You know, it's wild, bro. It's wild.
Yeah. But the other wrestlers trying to take him down were definitely in the right. But yeah, I didn't see the guy get
way too long. I think.
Oh no, for sure.
From the jump.
It took that many people for sure.
Yeah.
I think
there was one guy. There was one guy that grabbed him at first. I think that was his really good friend that actually did the interview that was talking about what ended up happening. He is yes, like that dude. Roger better not ever like be in the same vicinity with that guy because there's gonna be some problems.
I saw some of that video. I didn't get to watch all of it.
That guy actually is an MMA fighter.
Yeah,
and he's ready to go.
Yeah,
he's definitely. What the fuck is that noise?
It's coming from the video.
I know. I'm just wondering what the hell is that, an alarm?
Can you turn it down?
Yeah.
But
I'm like, what is that noise? It's like, bro, it's like that's his conscience screaming.
Right, just screaming, get the hell out of there. But yeah, he ends up getting followed. He still puts the microphone back on. He's hot. You know,
at the end of the day, I'm gonna stand up for my fucking self. I don't know if fucking playing with me and shit.
I think everybody.
Hold on. Let's hear what you gotta say.
One of them was a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'm gonna stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
Come on, man. We leaving, man. We walking.
Yeah, we call that trauma. We call that trauma.
Yeah,
right there. That's pure, unadulterated. He just reverted back to some point when he was a kid.
Yeah.
You know that was not adult Raja talking just now. You know that, right?
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you're pointing that out because honestly, that inner child, I don't know if you want to call it that. Some people just call it, you know, your shadow self, whatever. That version of you that you don't let the public see is very. That's how you built yourself to protect yourself. The person that you are, like on the outside, is I would say most oftentimes with men is a reflection of who you either needed or who you would rather be instead of that hurt child on the inside. The way that people react to things, the way that they kind of get out of pocket, the rage that you feel, not being able to take care of, you know, yourself, or you didn't feel protected or whatever, like that all bubbles up because of that. And like you said, that's not adult Raja who is saying those things. That's the kid. That's the feelings that he's never really let out. And maybe if he has, and maybe in his training or something like that, but I don't think he has anybody around him that he can express that to, because if your own father is the one that is
nobody's gonna take it seriously, you know, and not make fun of him for, you know, being like, hey bro, you know, I feel this kind of way, man, quit being a bitch, you know, you know, it's like that, you know, that tough outer shell is like, don't be a punk, you know, that kind of thing. That's probably more of what he got than, you know, it's like, hey bro, you know, hey, let that shit out. Go hit the bag, we'll talk about it afterwards, you know, go let that shit out, go let that go, you know. It's like, you know, that's I completely agree with you. It's like that's a smaller version of him that's definitely finally getting to. We talked about in the self-esteem prophecy. It's like at the point when you're the intimidator is because you finally get big enough and bold enough and strong enough to finally lash out, and that's when that happens.
Catch wreck.
You know, I get the keep the hands to yourself thing. My thing is that kind of goes out the window when you are bringing a camera around a wrestling event. It's like, you know, it's like that's and I get it. Like, so if would I have been super happy with homeboy hitting me in the head with a beer can? Absolutely not. Would we have probably got down to business if you had hit me with a beer can? There probably wouldn't have been much talking after that. But it's one of those things that when you do certain things, though, you put yourself in a certain situation. Like I said, would that, here's my question. Would that have happened if he didn't have a full on, because we're not seeing what he actually has. When these IRL streamers go out, they don't have just a phone that's filming them.
It's a rig.
They have a full camera setup, backpack rig, cameraman, the whole 9 yards. Think about like all these reality shows you see with like MTV,
Jackass,
Jackass, and you like get a chance to see the cameraman running and stuff like that, and the setup that he has.
Maury,
that's the kind of setup these guys have.
Jerry Springer.
That's what you're dealing with. You're not dealing with just like a little handy cam or like somebody holding a phone, like moving with just like a whole big setup, a whole production that looks a lot like the production that the quality they have when they're filming music videos, or they're filming wrestling matches or UFC or these different things like that. Maybe the camera isn't as big, but they have professional setups. So you're running around with a professional setup around guys who act for a living fighting.
Yeah, but
you know, it's like, so you can't expect a lot of them not to play a character, because you're playing a character too.
Yes, but he didn't know this character. He didn't know Raja from nothing. And so to catch Rex's point, you know, nobody told him to go in here and do that. And everybody's chilling back there. You don't see nobody else acting. You don't see nobody else pretending to be a wrestler outside of this backyard area where everybody's chilling and they're getting ready to go out there and do their show. They're preparing for it. Now, one thing that we didn't talk about, who's running the promotion? Because somebody should have went to them and be like, hey, we had a situation out back, just so you know, in case something like this did happen. And of course, hindsight is 2020. I get that.
Yeah.
But somebody should have, if these other wrestlers who are obviously not in control of the promotion, and they're saying, hey, let's just bring this rando into this situation and let him get his lick back because we don't want problems with his daddy. You should have said something to the promoter so that if he doesn't get sued, because he could have sued him. He could have been like, yo, this thing happened. Maybe I got a concussion or not, whatever. I don't like how your people are running their business. And maybe if Raja's not a businessman, none of that was businessman type behavior. So maybe, you know, nobody was thinking in that right mind. But at the end of the day, this is a business. It's fun and all that. And you get
it's a business, but it's show business. You got to remember that. It is show business. A lot of these events, these are like reality shows. You were in an environment, because regular people aren't back there with the wrestlers. Let's just be real about that. Let's be, because we're talking about like, oh well, how would he know that he wasn't a wrestler? What regular person is back there with wrestlers?
Facts. That's facts.
He's back there with nothing but wrestlers with a camera on you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, you know, I'm not excusing the dude for. I don't want it to sound like I'm excusing the guy for hitting him with a beer can, because if you don't know that somebody's working, you probably should check. Be like, hey, bro.
That's all.
You know, it's like, even if you're
who's that guy,
or don't drink that much when you're working. Don't do that.
Facts. That's another thing. Should you be doing all these flips and shit drunk? Like,
hey, maybe that's how he makes it through it. Yeah,
that's how Cold Stone Steve Austin did it. But that don't mean you got to do it that way. Like, come on now.
It keeps my knees from hurting. but my thing's like this, like, so you're back there with nothing but wrestlers. There's no regular people back there other than like family members who they know, and you know, like I said, the CEO, people involved in their industry are the only people back there. What are you doing back there? It's like, so you're putting yourself in a situation where things can happen. It's like, so you can't be surprised when shit happens, when you put yourself in a situation where shit can happen.
Yeah.
I can't be surprised if I go to the hood and I'm hanging around gangbangers and I'm not a gangbanger, some shit happens.
Yeah.
I can't be surprised by that because of where I'm at now. Like I said, that's an extreme example, but like I said, you are in a situation where people are acting and playing a role.
Mm-hmm.
And you are also playing a role, because when he interacted, because at first I thought it was a setup, because when he's like a psycho stew, that sounded like he was acting to me. To me, that sounded like he was acting.
No, I don't think
it's
because
like,
he wasn't giving him no love before.
With the way they stood off for a second there. Now, like we said, when you grabbed the beer can and hit him, and then you got hyped, I was like, okay, is this like a skit that they're doing? Because it's like, oh you know, psycho stew, like, who are you? It's like, oh, you don't know who I am, and he's like,
you know what this really is? This is a blown out version of Chris Rock and Will Smith, because at the same time people were like, oh, is this an act? Is this a part of the Grammys or whatever show that was?
Yeah.
Is this a part of the show? And it took it. No, there was no security. Yeah. Nobody really knew if, like, yo, should we do something about this? You know, and Will only did the one slap totally out of pocket. Raja, even if he just would have had that slam, that would have been viral. That should have been the end of it.
Yeah.
But all them punches, like Catch Rex said, all them punches wasn't necessary.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was ridiculous. It's like that's the premeditated part. Like, because he was planning it. He was saying what he was going to do when he got in the ring with them. Should I hit him first and then slam him, or should I slam him and then hit him first? Hey, chat, put a W in the chat if I should slam him. He's literally planning on what to do. So it's like, you can't tell me that, like I said, and my biggest thing that I'm going to keep hyping on is the camera never got turned off.
Never.
So you're sitting there telling me that you're not playing a role, but you're not even want to turn the fucking camera off.
Yeah.
You hit me in the head with a beer can, and see if I remember that there's a camera.
That's facts. That's facts. Because people have done it before.
Especially if I'm not expecting it. Like, you know, one, it's like I see you pick something up and I'm like, what does it do about it? Because you gonna pour this on me or something like that? Either way,
he like put his hand on his head, didn't he? And then with the other hand, then came out with the can.
We can rewind it. But you know, just the fact that you do that, I'm going to completely forget that there's a fucking camera on me. Yeah. And right after that, I'm be like, hey, turn the camera off.
Right.
What? Right. Yeah. After the whole incident wraps up, I'm like, nope, we're done. I got blood on my shirt. We had an incident. Nope. Nope. Filming's over. Over. We're done. We're out of here. I'm not gonna stay and watch the show after some shit like that. Absolutely. If I'm really upset about it, not play mad.
Yeah, you should.
I'm not gonna be
out of there.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done. I'll be like, you know what? It's like, man, I'm sorry. You know what? Cool. I'm out. Even if I say that, you know, it's like, even if I don't take it there and I'm just like, you know what? Let bygones be bygones. I'm still not gonna stay.
Yeah.
I just got hit in the head with a fucking beer can. What?
Right.
My thing's like, this night's only gonna spiral.
Right. It's only gonna get worse.
From this, it's like, it can't get better from me getting hit in the head with a beer can at the beginning of my night.
Right.
It's like, it's not gonna get better from here.
Yeah.
Only some weird, messed up stuff is gonna happen from here on out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and that's not a, people are like, well, he's young. It's like, I knew that young. I've worked at bars and stuff like that. When I've had incidents happen where somebody, you know, I could tell some wild stuff's about to happen. Be like, nope, I'm out. Nope, nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it, because it already got to this point right now. I already want to fight. It's time for me to go. It's like, if I go someplace and something happens, I end up wanting to fight. The night's over.
Yeah. There's been several times where I was very close to not having that emotional regulation, let's say. And it really, I'm glad that I didn't, but there's always a piece of you that wish that you had. But I don't think that piece is big enough for you to threaten your livelihood like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never that serious. Unless somebody is threatening your family, it is never that serious. And they even mentioned it in the thing. There was like, look, we don't want problems with him or his daddy. So we just need to go ahead and squash this however we need to. Yeah. But I think they were trying not to let it escalate, like, financially. I don't think Roger's the type of guy to you know, try to get money out of the situation, but he did want his lick back. And they were like, hey, we'd rather deal with that than any type of legal repercussions. And guess what? You still got to deal with legal repercussions now. You for sure have to. So this is going to be on for a while. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to get swept under the rug.
But yes, you wanted to fight. I was just sitting there thinking about
Raja?
replaying that in my head. I don't think he actually wanted to fight that guy. Because here's my thing. It's like his reaction, even like taking the bag, like I don't play like that, and taking the bag off and all that good stuff, and then you want to fight. After, like I said, it'd be one thing if the dude pushed you, and then you're like, oh shit, here we go, and you start taking stuff off and stuff like. But after a dude hits you,
yeah,
when you want to fight after somebody hits you, you fight it. You immediate. It's not like, no, let me take out my phone so I don't break my phone. Let me take my watch off. Hold on a minute. You just wait. No, you go.
Yeah.
You go, and afterwards you're like, damn, I broke my watch. It's just like, is that?
I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if that's enough to be like, oh, look at this premeditated act. But again, and we're just kind of.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think it was a premeditated thing. I just don't think he really wanted to fight. I think I think at the end and this is me, is like, I think he was reading the comments so much that it got him hyped up that he almost got to the point where he had no choice.
Yeah,
he felt
that's what
like,
I think it is.
He felt like he had no choice but to prove himself that I'm still a man. Well, I'm not a man. I'm a fake crash out. I'm gonna show you. Because you can see the way he was talking to the chat. It's like, because like for a minute he was calm in between, like until they started really getting hype. He was gonna go in there and like hit him and slam him and then go. It wasn't gonna be one of those major things. It's like he let the chat hype him up and try and pull his man card. Is what I think happened.
You know what?
And then he felt like he had to do something to get that back. He wanted to. He was trying to take his power back in that ring.
Yeah, but if the stream was about him checking out his friend, then after that incident, no matter how much they hyped it up, it should have been on the actual fights. You know what I'm saying? In his friend's match and all that type of stuff. Because watching him read his streaming chat isn't that entertaining. The wrestling and all that, they were able to get it in an angle where it was the ring and him and the you could still hear him and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, but that's the real show, is him reacting to his comments and all that, getting hyped up before this crazy assault. Not it stopped being about the match a long time ago. Once that beer can came up, it was not about the match anymore.
Yeah,
but and that's how do you feel? My real question is, how do you feel about the people in the stream and in the chats and because it's not just this. It's whenever something happens with the police in a neighborhood. It's anytime you see a man and a woman going at it with a DV. It's the Sha'Carri Richardson thing. It's, there's a lot of people who make these comments and then they get read, and it's like, what is it that makes us react to people online like this? Because they're still people. But at the same time, they don't know nothing about you for real. So why let words on a screen piss you off this much when you don't know who they are? They probably ain't making no type of content. They're not being productive. They're not, you know what I'm saying? If you're watching if you're watching an hour and 45-minute stream about pro wrestlers, you're probably not doing nothing real productive with your life.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, they're not.
Why even let them?
They're watching for him.
Yeah.
And they're watching to see him do some crazy shit or some interesting something or something along the lines. It wasn't about the pro wrestlers. It was just something he was planning on doing.
I think he was doing. Yeah, for sure. But I just feel like that's a bit odd. Yeah, even as the person who was responsible and having that accountability, we're on YouTube. We're interacting with people right now. But it's like, am I going to let their comments inflame me to the point where I go out and do something stupid?
I am.
Travis will, but I'm not that guy, man.
Hand me my beer.
Ridiculous. You don't even drink.
It's non-alcoholic.
He's gonna mess you up over a seltzer, seltzer water.
Hand me my ginger beer.
But
I only drink out of glass bottle, so this is gonna be interesting.
Oh God! But and this goes for y'all as well. If you're still watching, this goes for you too. Why would you let somebody's comments, Joe Schmo from the other side of the planet, get you this upset about anything? If they're not paying you for nothing, if they're not sleeping with you, if they're not feeding you, if they're not contributing to your household, if they aren't not even your boss, none of this. They're just a random guy on the street that is yelling into the void, pissing you off. Storm Logic, Raja should have had at least let the dude square up, not pretend to go along with it until you knock the guy out. That's yeah. Because okay, so I'm glad you said that, because when he picked dude up, he wasn't even aware that he had made it into the ring yet. He wasn't even there yet. To the point where, sorry, 1 sec.
No, that was me. I swiped the wrong
Something
way,
happened.
and next thing I disappeared.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I
I can hear you. I can't see you though.
I got so excited about
There we go.
I was reaching for my beer and accidentally swiped on my keyboard and it sent me away.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Roger pop up in the chat, and I was like, oh, it's go time.
Yeah, but to Storm Logic's point is, Raja should have let him square up, sure, but he didn't even know that he had slid into the ring. By the time he was like halfway turned around, he already had his arms wrapped around his legs. He was in the air before he knew what was up.
Oh, the ring.
And next thing
the ring thing.
No, the ring thing was playing, but he didn't know when he was coming in. They never told him. He said, "I'm gonna tap you and let you go in there and do your thing." But Syko Stu was all, I hate that name. I'm sorry. He was already in the middle of his act before he actually turned around and realized he was in Roger's arms. So, that part, it does feel a bit like a sucker punch, a sucker slam. Is there a new name? Can we have a new name for that?
Sucker slam.
Are we calling it the Raja? I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot there, but
Raja will get your ass sent to jail. So I don't know if you want to call it
for real. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But yeah, how do you feel about the people that kind of instigated the whole thing? Because he was.
Speaking of that, I want to watch a little bit of the ending, and we'll hop into some of these other topics that we want to talk about. We definitely want to talk about the Rampage Jackson piece of this, how he plays, what role he played in this. We want to see if there's.
Let's go. Come on, Roger. Let's go. Let's go, Roger. Let's go. Roger, let's go. Roger, I'm telling you, let's go. You listen to me. Listen to me, Roger. You need to listen to me right now, Roger. Let's go.
You can't fuck with me, bro.
Let's go.
You can't fuck with me. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, hurt little boy.
Mm.
Hurt little boy out here hurting people. It's not, it is what it is. Like I always say, it's hurt people, and I can't act all holier than thou and that like I haven't hurt people, because I have. It's like I've been out here living my life and doing. I've done things I'm not proud of. I've never done it in a wrestling ring, Like, but anyway.
What you had said. Well, go ahead.
I said what?
No, well, you had said either somebody gets bullied to the point where they stick up for themselves, or they become the bully. There was a point, and I'm really glad this kid had self-control to be on the other side of, you do something stupid. I did something stupid when I was in grade school. I was messing with this kid who I thought was weaker than me, and one day I was pushing too many buttons, and he stood up, put my back against the wall, and stuck a pencil in my face, and like really close to my eye, and was like, "Bruh, leave me alone." You know what I mean? And he could have fucked me up that day. Yeah. Luckily, he didn't. But after that, I was like, I'm gonna have to change my ways.
I'm probably not built to be a bully.
I'm probably not, because I could be looking like Nick Fury out here right now, and that would not be a good look. So, and this was like 6th grade. You know what I mean? And I've actually never told that story, but it really drove home a point. Like, 1, don't fuck with the quiet kids, and 2,
don't do that.
Don't mess with the quiet ones. And you are not as bad as you think you are. None of us are as bad as we think we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was singing a different tune after that, and it took some time, but then just realizing, like, hey, being the bully, you putting your problems on somebody else will get you nowhere but fucked up.
Yeah. And it's a lot of it's just a case of opportunity. People trying to take opportunity. I definitely, when you're telling that story, I start cheering for the kid with the pencil. I was like, yeah.
I'm sure you did.
All right. Because I've been bullied so fucking much. And it's like, so even Raj like, get no hype and be like, you can't fuck with. It's like, I've had that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that moment. To where I was about to do something that we wouldn't be talking right now.
Mm-hmm.
To that extent, where somebody pushed on me to the point where I was just like, I was ready to throw it all away. And that's what, and that's probably why I'm being so hard on him with this situation, is because he could have killed that guy, and we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. He could have killed, because he doesn't, like I said, the dude's already a veteran, and he didn't know that, it's like you could have already had some, brain trauma or different things. Like, we're talking about concussions. What if this dude had gotten blown up and had, had major issues? Which, if that's the case, you have major head trauma, why would you be wrestling? That's the question. But he just easily, he could have. Raja is not a trained wrestler. He's a trained MMA fighter. Wrestlers know how to slam each other to get the result that they're looking for without completely destroying, hopefully, the person that they're slamming. Raja doesn't have that training. What if he had slammed this dude and the dude landed on his neck instead of on his head? He could have broke this man's neck and that dude could be dead. We could be having a completely different conversation right now than we are. We could be talking about how he killed him and should he be going to jail and how much time should he be getting.
Some people are already having that argument.
Well, like, and it's, but this we're talking about
for murder,
not
for murder.
Is that we would be talking about, was this first degree or second degree? That's a whole different conversation. And like I said, when I saw him, at the end when I saw him do that, can't fuck with me, I'm sick of people fuck. I literally had some of those same words come out of my mouth that one night when I was, it was after bouncing. I was at an after-hour spot and I was hanging around some people I had no business hanging around and doing some different things I should had no business doing, and got approached by this guy because I had talked to his girl. Somebody introduced me to his girlfriend. Was trying to help me, trying to help me out. Like, hey Travis, meet this chick, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Cool, I didn't know I was already dating somebody at the time. So I, just chatted with her and I went about my business. No flirting, anything like that. Oh boy saw it, approached me, started asking me about it, and like was getting real hype, getting in my face. I'm like, bro, look, I don't even know who you're talking about right now. He's like, you were just talking about. I was like, oh, her? I was like, bro, that's all you. It's like this. I was like, I got a girlfriend. It's like somebody introduced me to her and I said hello. I was like, I don't even know her name. So I was like, and we were squashing it to the point where he and I actually shook hands. We're like, he's like, hey bro, it's like, that's you, bro. It's like, I got a girlfriend. It's like, you ain't got to. It's like, bro, you ain't got to worry about me. Matter of fact, if I see somebody talking to you, girl, I'll wave you down. How about that?
Such a gentleman.
It's like, how about that? I was like, I ain't got no problem with you, bro. It's like, I don't know you like that. It's like, I know you. I've been in the same circles as you. I've never talked to you. It's like, people I'm around vouch for you and the people you're with. It's like, so yeah, bro, I ain't got no problem with you. It's like, I'm not that way. I got a girlfriend. You're good. You ain't got to worry about me. So we squash it, but somebody else came over and started interjecting themselves in it to the point where they actually threatened me. And we're like, we're talking about, what they were going to do.
He threatened you, or the third party threatened you?
The guy that came in afterwards, after me and old boy, right after old boy squashed it. He came in, he was drunk, like was on that hen, and was definitely
hen dog.
It was in his blood. He was drinking so much. It wasn't even like in his gut anymore. It was pumping. Hennessy was pumping through his veins at this point of the night. And he came and was, saying, it's like, hey, it's like, I saw you da, and we're gonna do this and da, and we see you do that thing. If we catch you outside, wash yourself, and threatened me. And I was like, and then walked away, and I was just like, and
time to go.
And something in me went, and I was like, okay, cool. It's like, guess I'm going to jail tonight. That's just what it is. I guess that's what it is. I was like, nope, I'm tired of this shit. It's like, I don't do stuff to people. I didn't approach that guy. I didn't try and get that guy's girl. I wasn't talking shit to him. I have no idea who he even was. It's like, but they want to come fuck with me. Cool. It's like, all right. They want a monster. Here comes a monster. And I was.
You want to play rough? Okay.
And I'm gonna be real. I had 2 knives on me, and I pulled my knives out. And I was ready to go. I was ready to go. And somebody I know was watching that I didn't know was watching. And ended up stopping me. But like I said, I say all that to say that in that moment I was Raja. I was fully committed on like, it's like I'm either not going home tonight or I'm going home in the back of a cop car tonight. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can get to that point, and that has a lot to do with my old shit.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with that necessarily that situation, because that situation didn't call for that level of violence that I was about to do.
But it's crazy because you had just said that you were able to squash the situation not 30 seconds prior.
Yeah.
But because you were already in that mode of like, hey, I'm trying to make sure we both go home safe because this is not worth it. And then somebody keeps interjecting with their bullshit. You really never know what the thing is that's going to set you off.
Yeah.
Because we spend so much time trying to defend ourselves against big traumas, I think, or hot. That was the wrong word. We're trying to survive so many big things that happen to us that it takes so much energy, and then somebody adds a feather to it, something dumb, something little, and it's just like, I think I'm just gonna put this down and just go to rubber room. I'm gonna
down to my life way. Down to my life way.
Oh boy, here I go killing again. Like it's crazy.
It was, like I said, it's not something I'm proud of. It wasn't my best moment, but it's real. Like I said, I was Raja in that moment. I was tired of the world at that moment, tired of the world fucking with me so much, and them thinking that they could get away with it. And I'm like, it's like everybody, everybody thinks they can just get away with the shit, just say whatever they want to me. That I'm just gonna be a nice guy. It's like, okay, say hello. It's just going all Riddick on people. It's like, and it's funny now, but honestly, man, in that moment, I look back at that moment and like that was a critical moment for me.
Yeah.
Because if it hadn't been for somebody sitting behind a bar, like just sitting there watching the room and happened to see me doing some out of the ordinary shit, that caught their attention and them starting to watch me and probably saw me, reach for something, because I was premeditating what I was doing. It's like, absolutely, I did it in a very secretive way that nobody knew what I was doing except for him. And he happened to see it, and he called me on it and was like, hey, come here. And I ignored him the first time he called me, and I was just like, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anybody just call my name.
Right.
And but it got to the point where, like I said, if it wasn't for that moment of that guy stopping me, and that almost didn't work, there'd be, me and you would never have met. We wouldn't be having a conversation right now. Yeah.
Believe me, there's been situations as well where it's just like, man, I could not be here. But it's humbling for sure. And this is what we're really getting at, is that it's humbling when you can have somebody step in and actually care for you enough like that. I think Raja's got the wrong people around him. And I don't want to say including his father, but his father is doing him no favors that I can see. Yeah, I saw something previously, again, before we hopped on, where his dad was like, yo, he wanted to be pro so bad. I wanted to help develop him and all that kind of stuff.
But he wants to do his own thing, so kind of fuck him type.
Yeah. And I don't know why that was the reaction that his dad had, because I feel like there's a lot of kids that are entitled that don't want to suffer. They want to be handed whatever the legacy is or whatever the monetary value, the stuff. But he was like, no, I want to get out the mud. Okay, respectful. That doesn't mean it has to be fuck you now. He lives a very privileged life. Fine. But if he says he wants to do this thing, his career, a certain type of way, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think you just help him with training and make sure he's got training partners and all that type of stuff. You don't have to, maybe there is some, like Rampage said, he had to move to California with basically nothing and build himself up from there. Everybody knows that story. They don't want their kids to suffer. I don't want my kid to suffer. I think I had it pretty good, but I don't want my kid to have to go through any of the stuff that was negative about my childhood and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you can't defend your kid against life, and they're going to want to do it their way. I want to do it my way. My brother does it his way. You do it your way. We all want to do it our way. But I don't think as a father, it becomes fuck you because you don't want to live the lifestyle that I've broke my back to give you.
It does if your ego is completely involved in it.
For sure.
It does if you're ego driven like that, which I think for any human being to achieve some of the things he has achieved, I think you got to be a bit ego driven to do that, to put in that type of work to that extent to reach that level. I think you have to be driven by your ego to a certain extent. And a lot of fighters say they have. You know, Mike Tyson admitted it. You know, a lot of other ones have admitted it's like, oh yeah, I was completely, my ego was getting fed all the time, and if you weren't feeding my ego, fuck you. It's like you know, you weren't around me. It's like I was feeding my ego or somebody else was all the time, and you were ego driven. So to be in that kind of space and still be in that space even after retiring, or I don't know if he's fully retired, but retiring.
I was just thinking that I don't know if he fights anymore, but I don't know if he's like fully retired.
You know, even after retiring, to still be in that space, I think that can kind of feel like a slap in the face.
That's fair.
It's like, you know, and it's like, so at least in his mind, probably.
Yeah.
Now, since we're talking about Rampage, you know, how much do you think his relationship with Raja, their relationship, feeds into what happened with this whole situation? Do you think that person he was yelling at, and you know, after he left, he's like, I'm sick of people fucking with me? Who do you think he was thinking about in that?
It's his dad. It's 110% his dad. I don't know. One, I don't know enough about the family to say who else it could have been. But I think because of the interactions, just the clips that I see between him and his son, full disclaimer, I've never seen a full episode of their show, if they have a show, or whatever his thing is. But every time I see him talking to his dad, it's never pretty. It's like they're playing the Dozens or something. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm talking shit about your mom. You're my dad. What? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're just playing it like I see it too often. This is the only type of situation
and in public
conversation that I see.
And put it out there that publicly. It's one thing. It's one thing if your dad, you know, is talking about like, it's like, I'm gonna go bend your mom over the table tonight, and he says it to you in a private room. But when he's saying that to you in front of like hundreds or thousands of people on a stream, and probably your stream too, you know, it's like you know your dad's putting, you know, your dad's giving you the business. That's got to feel a certain type of way.
It hurts, bro. It would have to hurt. There's no way.
Even if you laugh at it then on the inside, I don't know if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's happening a lot on a regular basis. Like the most viral clips they have is usually of him just getting just demolished by Rampage. Just him him talking to him like as if he was a stranger. Like, you're not my son. And you're just somebody they brought for me to like dismantle your. I'm trying to hurt your spirit.
It's like Meg from Family Guy. You know what I mean? It's somebody who everybody's talking shit to. Oh, what's going on, brother?
Hey, fam, man.
Yeah. See, I love that we're getting more folks in here on a regular basis, man. It's beautiful to talk to you guys. Definitely enjoying the insights that you guys are giving to us and being a part of the conversation, because you're right here with us.
Hey,
you're seeing this thing.
What do you think? What are your thoughts? How much do you know about Rampage's relationship with Raja, and how do you think that played into this whole incident that he came in? Do you think he's trying to just a young man thirsty for that fatherly love, and that's why he's, you know, out here, you know, being reckless in these streets? Or do you think there's something more to it?
There's definitely more to it. But yeah, because you guys are seeing this real time, how would you have reacted to something like this? How, you know, would you have been able to walk away and have that self-control and that
I would have been fighting.
You know what I'm saying? I would have had to leave.
I would have been fighting. I would have been because my thing is like, I would have walked away before you hit me with a beer can. But you hit me with something, I'm in fight mode as soon as it hits me. Yeah, it's like we're going to be fighting if you hit me with something. That's just the rule. That's just the rule. It's like until you touch me, everybody can walk away. The minute you touch me, it's over now. Now we're in the self-defense situation.
Yeah, for sure. And you better pray that when everybody pulls their phones out, they catch the part where it was self-defense, because it's wild out here, bro. It's everybody's speculating.
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying knowing myself.
Yeah,
I would have been fighting.
Yeah,
it's just
me knowing myself.
As much control as I've worked on having in my life, I don't know if I have enough control to let some dude hit me in the head with a beer can and me not to be throwing hands afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, you're not getting that close to me. He was invading that man's space before he got that far. He could have put his hand on him a little bit.
Well,
Hey, man,
the minute he reached back for something is like, I'm surprised he didn't get punched right then. It's
right.
like, I see you reaching back for. I don't know what the hell you're reaching back for.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're reaching back for, even though I'm around these people, you reach back for something that could be a knife for all I know.
Travis is very much a stop resisting type of guy. You're pulling out a wallet. He thinks it's a grenade or something. He's taking your ass out. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm laughing because it's so true. I'm laughing.
He's a stop resisting type of dude.
Because the last fight I got into was because a guy flinched at me. it's like, and I don't know if he tripped. I don't know if he was actually gonna throw a punch, or I don't know if he was just doing that. All I know is my fist ended up in his face. That's all I know. Is like, you know, I saw this and then bow. Next thing I know, I was like, oh shit, I'm fighting now.
Yeah, man, that's
like,
funny.
It's like I don't have to think about the punch. The punch just moves.
Hit all by itself.
It hits all by itself. It's like that's some real shit, man. That is a real thing. Yeah. It's like, you know, a lot of martial artists know it's like a lot of times, man, you do stuff and stuff just happens. Your body just moves.
Yeah. I think what's dangerous about the relationship that he has with his dad is that, one, he probably has a lot of that natural skill that his dad had. And
he definitely has the power bomb gene.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. But I'm sure he has something to do with his training, you know, coming up, growing up, all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't see him not getting away with, or I don't see him getting away with not training, you know, at a young age. But then all you're doing is talking. Him and his dad are basically like Yujiro and Baki. Like, every time I see you, I'm just gonna talk shit and egg you on and punch on you and do all this shit in order to make you strong.
Wow.
You didn't think about that, did you?
Man.
Just to make you strong, so that he has.
That is so true. Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, Baki keeps it cool, but he'll let anybody have it at any moment. But, you know, Raja didn't have that same type of
issues.
Control, because them daddy issues, bro. Baki don't care about nothing but killing his dad. But, you know, I it's a shame, because there's so many better examples that I wish Rampage could have been for him, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, or just somebody, man. And you know, so
his man, he's got other mentors, his coach and all that, but his coach I didn't hear him say a word that whole stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like at a certain point, if you've been in a situation for so long, I think you kind of adapt to the space you were raised in. And if you've been in that environment for a long time where that kind of stuff is expected from you, you know, it almost becomes one of those things where, like, if somebody's been hitting you since you were a kid, somebody, you know, just tap you on the shoulder, you automatically flinch like this. It's like, it's not even one of those things you can control anymore. It just happens. So I don't know how much you can change somebody who doesn't want to change themselves if they've grown up a certain way and become an adult. It's very, very challenging to change adults, especially when they're not willing to accept that they're the problem.
Yeah.
You know?
What's that old saying? It's better to raise a healthy child or it's easier to raise a healthy child than to heal a broken adult.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's real stuff.
So yeah, man, and then you include the IRL streaming. You know, people watching your life and making comments and different things like that. If you already have a fragile ego, having a crowd around you chanting and yelling in your ear probably isn't the best thing for your mental health.
Yeah. Online and in person, people were egging him on and talking shit, and his dad called him, and I don't think I heard his cameraman saying I hope at some point his cameraman kind of pulled him to the side, like, hey bro, you okay? Like, I know shit was getting ready to go crazy, but you know, you want to cut this, you know.
Oh, he did at the end. It's like, go, no,
yeah, at the end,
we're leaving.
Yeah, daylight when the can was thrown, you know, and the guy told him to cut the stream, and he was like, no, we're doing a thing. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So we're trying to fix something. He should have kept pressing the issue there. You know what I'm saying? So that they could truly squash it.
Well, that was the outside dude who was telling the guy, you know, to cut it, but he wouldn't, you know, because
he's not his boss.
So we're not, all about the drama and everything like that. We can't just leave it there. It's like, let's talk about some solutions before we close out.
For sure.
This has been a great stream and love the comments. Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, whether you're watching on Instagram. What up, Instagram?
Yeah, man.
Or you're on the Facebooks. Or the
faces.
Tubes, the book of faces, yeah.
The tubes and the book of faces and the tiki-takis.
The tubes and the faces and the tiki-takis.
Oh man, the IGs and man. But yeah, I think.
I was gonna say, let's get some solutions, because some of a big thing we cover in the course, shameless plug, in the 800 gates is integrity, yes, self-control, but a lot of it is about how do you control yourself? How do you control that anger? What do you do when you're trying to when somebody is emotionally manipulating you, or you feel like that is? So how do you regulate your emotions? Mm-hmm. Is something we definitely touch on pretty heavy in the 800 gates.
Yeah.
And one of those things we talk about is the passive situation and active situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them about the passive and active situations? For sure.
So a passive action is when you are inconvenienced by somebody because they're doing something kind of crazy around you. Our perfect example that we have is like when you're in traffic. If you get cut off by somebody in traffic, are you going to go chase that person down or beep your horn or give them the finger and all that stuff? Like, you don't know what's going on with that person. They could be speeding on their way to the hospital, or they could be in a police chase. They ain't got nothing to do with you inside of your car.
Could be an old lady listening to NSYNC, drinking her Starbucks coffee on the way to pick up her grandkids from daycare. For all you know,
she's late or something.
Yeah, she's not paying attention. Yeah, you're gonna beat up Nana at the stoplight.
Right. she's not actively doing something to you. Something just happened around you where it's like, okay, that's rude or whatever, but it's fine.
Yeah.
That's a passive situation. An active situation is like you get a fender bender, or somebody
hitting you
is chasing you down the highway. You said what?
You get in the head with a beer can.
Somebody gets hit in the head with a beer can. This is very. It don't get no more active. You know what I mean? But then it's like, okay, when you are faced with these situations, what are you going to do? When you're looking at the old lady who is cutting you off or whatever, there's nothing that you need to do to retaliate with that. It inconvenienced you, it pissed you off, sure, but you let that go because that person doesn't even know you exist until you react to that person. Yeah. Something that's a bit more active like this, that's where you start to kind of get into some gray areas, or you need to figure out like, what's your plan? That's why we say think a couple moves ahead.
Yeah,
because in that moment where you start taking stuff off and you got people in between you, you have a minute or two, or you have a second or two. I can't even give you a full minute, but you got a second or two to breathe and figure out what you're going to do next. He already knew he was finna get active, but he kept calm. I give him that. He kept calm at the beginning. They tried to squash it. They tried to come up with alternatives. That was as good as it got, because everything after that was a shit show. But they tried to defuse the situation as best they could. They tried to be professionals. But when somebody says, hey, you want your lick back? And how can we squash this? Now you got ideas rolling around in there. Like, oh, I'm about to fuck him up. You're thinking about that alternative. But if you, as an individual, let's put you in that situation. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to get active and kind of start to retaliate or you have to fight your way out? Or are you going to say, you know what? That's fucked up. I'm going to take a minute and remove myself, because if I don't, I'm going to jail. And that's the only two options. Either you end up on the canvas or you end up in jail. And thank God it was an actual ring and a canvas where maybe there's a little bit of protection and bounce. But if that was the concrete.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It would have been done. It's the situation with Roger was, it became active when he got hit in the head. It cooled off and went passive, but he chose to reactivate that.
Yeah,
that was a choice at the end, and that's where he became the villain in that. Whole thing. That's where he became the person in the wrong for that.
Yeah,
because up to that point, he was the victim.
Yeah,
up to that point. Yeah, it's like, but when he decided to, after an hour of being passive, of nothing going on. This guy isn't messing with you anymore. People aren't, people are in your ear, but this guy isn't actively an active threat to you and well-being. No longer. You chose to become the aggressor in that situation, and that's what you jacked up, especially in court or in legal ways. Is when you become the aggressor in a situation, you can no longer claim self-defense. He was not defending himself at all anymore. He wasn't defending his honor. He wasn't defending himself. He wasn't defending his integrity. Any of that. He was not defending that at that point. He chose to step up in that ring and do what he did. Up until that point, he could say, hey, I was a victim in this situation. I chose to, stand down and everything like that, be the bigger man, whatever it may be, blah, 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 blah. He had the high ground at that point. He chose to take a different route. It's like, so he chose to take a situation that went from active to passive and reactivate that and become the villain he really wanted to be in that moment.
Yeah, for sure. But then also, we always talk about one of my favorite things is we talk about thinking like a few moves ahead, but also, taking that breather, removing yourself from the situation. You have to go when things like this happen.
Yeah, we talk about racking it.
We talk about racking it. Racking it is the ability to, once that situation gets too heavy, think about a weight rack, or maybe you're in the, I can't remember what it's called,
bench press or squat rack,
bench press, or the squat rack. Thank you. You're in the squat rack and you're having that weight on your back, or you're pulling it up, or whatever. It gets too heavy. You need to take a second and try again in a minute. But you need to be able to put that thing down. We call it racking it. You know what I mean? If it's too heavy to bear at the moment, rack it. Yeah. That's all you can do. Because if you hold on to it, you're going to tear something. You're going to hurt yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's really that ability to remove yourself from the subjective view, but to the objective view. You go from being Travis, me in the moment, to, okay, you got to get that bird's eye view of like, okay, what is about to happen right now? Because I'm feeling hot and shit's about to get real. Sorry, go ahead.
And I think the thing that kept him from doing that was the fact that they didn't stop the stream. I really, I don't think things would have gotten as bad for him in this situation if he had cut the stream. Even if he decided to stay and still hop in the ring and get his get back a little bit and slam dude, I don't think it would have been as bad if he didn't feel like he had eyeballs on him, where people just respecting him and not,
feeling embarrassed,
people punking him and stuff like that. If he had just shut it off because of as fragile as his ego was, even if it was just in that moment, I think that set him up for. I think he was setting himself up for failure. If he had racked it and actually been like, "Hey man, cut the stream," maybe we'll restart it in a little bit. When it was time for me to go in the ring or something like that. But cut the stream. We're gonna cut the stream right now. We're not gonna do this. I need to rack this. I need a minute. And stepped away and stop the outside voices from coming in and just rack that for that moment. Took that, even if it was just 5 minutes, even if it just stepped away from the stream for 5 minutes, I think that would have made a huge difference for him. But because he didn't do that, shit got way too heavy for him, and now he finds himself in the situation that he's in. So racking it is super important, man. Even if you can just take in that, even if it's in the car and you're gripping, because I've done it. Road rage is a thing for sure for most of us. We felt it, like somebody pulls in front of you or almost hits you or something like that. But you may want to follow them home and pull them out their car in their driveway. Don't do that. Sometimes you just want to be like,
and
just breathe. Be like, and you think about it, like, is me pulling this dude out of his car at this light worth it? Is that he cut me off? I'm gonna pull him out of his car and teach him something, and the next thing you know, I'm going to jail instead of going to work.
Or you going to the morgue, because people who do these road rage things, you don't know if that other person's on.
Pew pew. You
don't know if somebody has.
You got that pew pew in the car. Next thing you know, you're on the evening news, and not for the reason you thought you were going to be.
Right. So it's hard. 100%. But you gotta have these tools in your back pocket. You gotta know yourself. You gotta know, if I go to this event and something crazy happens, what's gonna happen to me, or what am I gonna do to somebody else? And if that means you don't go outside, well, until you figure your shit out, maybe you shouldn't go outside. Because if you're pissed off at the mailman because he's dropping off your bills, or you're pissed off at your neighbor because they're too loud upstairs, or you're pissed off at the guy at the road rage, or you're pissed off at your boss because you didn't get a promotion, or you're pissed off at your girl because you didn't cook your eggs like you like, there's too many things that is pissing you off, sir. So you need to figure out, how can I start to unhook these things from my brain so that I can actually be a functioning human being out here and not a goddamn tea kettle ready to blow up at everything.
Facts.
You know, because I've dealt with anger issues. I know people very close to me that have had anger issues, and I've been on the receiving end of
like that.
Not you. I wasn't even thinking about you.
But, well, yeah, you are. Yeah, okay, yeah, you are an example.
But no, it's there's been people who just have these hairpin triggers.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, you either become the intimidator or you become aloof, which just means like, hey man, I don't want to deal with this shit. I ain't got time, because I'm gonna get pissed off, and being aloof doesn't make you weak, or being somebody who removes themselves from the situation doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart, because you might be the one thing keeping everybody alive in this situation.
Facts.
So,
but yeah, you know, that's what we want to talk about, man. Is like, you know, using this as a teaching moment, you know, because I wish somebody had pulled him to the side to have this conversation with him. You know, maybe hopefully, you know, some guys or some young guy or some older guy or it's just some person is watching this right now and it's getting something from this. Be like, you know what? Yeah, okay. I do have it. I do have a temper. I know I do got some underlying issues that cause me to pop off in situations that really don't require that kind of active approach to the situation. Instead of me just being passive, I decided to get active, and it never turns out well for me, and it's destroying me in my life and putting me in situations that I don't want to be in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but now it's like, okay, maybe I should, you know, take that time and really rack that and surround myself with some different types of people. You know, work on maybe getting into therapy or starting to do some training, do some martial arts to teach yourself and how to become a more honed individual, a tempered individual.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that, you to be able to know when it's time to use that anger and that rage and that fury that you got inside of you, and know when to, you know, to you know, bottle that up, to keep that calm, and how to calm that down. Because that's one thing martial arts did for me. Martial arts has kept me has definitely kept me out of jail. 100%. I've gotten into less fights than I would have gotten into if I wasn't in martial arts. If I wasn't in martial arts, I would have gotten in way more fights, way more situations, way more probably life and death situations, because of my temper. But because the training with martial arts and it teaching me like, hey, your fight is with you. Your fight is with you. And if somebody told me, it's like, bro, your only fight is with you. And if Raj is listening for whatever reason, you know, it's like, hey, bro, I know I got on you and all this other stuff like that. It's because I see myself in a lot of this. But your only fight is with you, bro. It's not with your dad. It's not with the people around you. It's not with the people messing with you. Your fight is with you. And until you learn how to fight that fight, and until you learn how to win that fight, you're always going to find yourself on the losing side of life.
Yeah. 100%. The last thing I'll say on it is I heard this quote earlier this week where it was saying that oh my god, I forgot it. Basically, it was saying the power that you end up getting from martial arts and from training and weightlifting and all this other kind of stuff, it's not so that you can go out and knock people out and become a world champion and all that type of stuff. That's great. That's to have that ability to make it that high is fantastic. I hope you get it. I hope you walk into a dojo and walk out a world champion. But it's not so that you can go out and prove yourself to the world. It's so that you can prove yourself to you. It's so that you can prove that I'm not weak. I'm not a loser. I'm not whatever the bad thoughts that roll around in your head are. You are not that. And it's so that you are better equipping yourself to fight those negative thoughts and whatever is going on internally. And Raja knew he could do what he did to Homeboy, to Syko Stu. But then that should have, I know it's not, there's no reward and there's no parade for this, but that should have been confidence enough to be like, I don't need to do this, because if I do this, there's a chance I'm going to jail and it's not worth it. So I could kill you right now. And that's good enough for me. Is really, that should have been at the end of the conversation. And if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. If you think that's dumb, let me know. But hit the like button first. Send this to a friend. Y'all talk about it.
Then talk shit to us.
Join the Legion and then talk shit to me in person.
There you go. Yeah. Join our weekly Legion calls every Sunday.
Right. So we can talk about this
to us face to face.
Right.
And if you
make sure to pay that subscription,
fist to fist. Because I'm not hard to find. No, I'm joking.
Oh man, see, there you go. But yeah, it's for your own confidence, because the same confidence that says you can kill somebody or knock them out means that you can go build a business, or you can be the best protector as a father or a husband that you can be. You know what I mean? This just isn't just about fighting. This transfers into everything that you do. There is no one side to anything that we do in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that confidence, that power, that transfers over. But you got to know how, you got to know when, you got to know why.
Yeah. Facts, man. Facts. And that's all we're here to do, man, is to, you know, give some insight that we're learning ourselves, that we're still learning, that we have learned from these situations that we find ourselves in, that, you know, could have went real bad, that somehow didn't go real bad, which I'm still surprised about at times. But, you know, the things we picked up in those situations to help guys, you know, young men, not have to go through these same challenges, not to end up in a situation that they find themselves in, like Raja, that, you know, no matter the voices you have on the outside, that you can build up that inner voice to, you know, keep you in a place to where you don't feel like you have something to prove to the world, prove to people on the internet, prove to your dad, prove to your mom, whoever it may be. But like you said, is you already know what you're capable of, to become that dangerously capable man in who you are, and can stand in that at all times, even when even when you have to get active, or when you find yourself in a situation where you want to, but you know it's a passive situation. So you let that shit go, because you know that it's not worth it for you. And you know that you're a better man because you don't do the thing, not because you have something to prove, but you're more of a man when you don't have to do something, even though you could. And at the end of the day, man, it's like, that's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to build in this world. Hopefully it's had a good impact on you guys and you enjoyed this commentary, man. If you did, drop a like down, you know, wherever you are, wherever you're watching, drop a comment too, man. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You know, do you have a whole different point of view on the situation? You know, did you see something that we missed? Whatever it may be, drop it down in the comment section, whether it be on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, wherever you find us, and we'll get to those comments just as soon as we can, and really tap in with you guys and keep this thing growing, man. And hit that like button, because this is free 99, bro. We're giving the game for free 99, you know, on a regular basis, and we're trying to hit that 1,000 subscribers. So do us that favor, give us the homeboy hookup and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us get to that 1,000 before the end of the year. We're right there. We're knocking on that door. I'm about to kick the damn thing in here in a minute.
Yeah, we hit 860 today, so that was dope, because we were sitting at like 854 earlier this week, and then we had a nice little spike. You know what I mean? So, and we're not the type of guys that's like, oh, we don't appreciate the 1,000. We haven't done enough to celebrate y'all doing this, being on this journey with us. You know what I mean? Like 860 people decided to hit subscribe on our channel, and we thank each and every one of y'all. Like we said, whether it's the shorts or the long form or the Legion or the 8 Inner Gates, we appreciate y'all jumping in here and talking with us. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we bring some value to you, but you bring value to us, because you're obviously proving that what we're talking about is valid.
Yeah, you like us. You
really like us.
And on that note, guys, we're gonna close this out, man. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. Stay conscious of what we're doing. Stay motivated. Fight your fight. Don't fight anybody else's fight. Don't let somebody talk you into fighting, especially when you don't need to. Don't find yourself in a Raja situation this weekend at a bar or some crazy super stuff like that. Dude, it's always better to walk away and live another day, live to fight another day. You don't win until you can go home. Yeah. It's like, if you can't go home and sleep in your own bed, you didn't win that fight.
You ain't win.
As my sensei says, shout out to Sensei Danny. That's how you win the battle. Is like, because a lot of people out here winning battles in bars and nightclubs and wrestling matches, and realizing they're going to lose that damn war.
Losing that war, bro.
You know, but at the end of the day, man, fight your fight. Stay up, keep your head up. Like I said, let's go out and become these well-rounded modern day warriors, these dangerously capable men, because at the end of the day, man, you much rather be a warrior in a garden.
In a garden, in a war. Check you guys next time.
Easy, guys.
Peace.